Battle Through the Heavens, Grand World. Chapter 144. His final trump card. The sudden appearance of a key that was comparable to the key of a heavenly sovereign startled Wu Judian and Kai Shui. They couldn't help but slow down and look towards the source of the key. That is, the third master of Mercenary Alliance, Li Shanfeng. Wu Judian, who saw the old man's face, let out a soft sigh. Although he didn't have a good impression of Li Zan, the combat strength of a heavenly sovereign level warrior was more than enough to fight these two law enforcers of Nether Domain. After that, Wu Judian didn't hesitate any longer. He turned his palm and the scarlet flame wheel rushed towards Kai Shui like a ray of light. HMPH, it's just a shadow. Kai Shui looked at the old man's figure and muttered to himself. Suddenly, his facial expression changed. He quickly pushed out both of his hands, and a sea of blood rushed towards the scarlet flame wheel. After that, he rushed towards the direction of the main hall without hesitation. This bastard! Lao Qianwan was struggling violently in the blood sea. Countless blood dragons were rolling around in the blood sea. As long as they came into contact with his body, they would explode. Although they didn't cause much damage, it still made Lao Qianwan feel extremely embarrassed. Li Shanfeng. Gui Diao looked at the shadow in front of him and couldn't help but stop. As the third chief of the Mercenary Alliance in Star Moon Spirit Domain, he was very famous for assassinating Li Shanfeng. Back when he was young, he had made a name for himself in Star Moon Spirit Domain with his superb assassination skills. Although he was old now, his strength didn't allow anyone to look down on him. That's me. Are you guys from the Nether Domain? The old man was leaning on a wooden walking stick with a dragon head. He stared at Gui Diao with a sharp gaze and asked, "What a good eyesight." Gui Diao replied coldly, "I have the title of Assassinating Ghost Venerable. I would have died long ago if I didn't have such good eyesight. However, the Nether Domain has been messed up by you sneaky rats and snakes all these years. What are you trying to do?" Li Shanfeng said in a deep voice. "You don't have to worry about that. Your precious grandson is quite talented. My Nether Domain is going to get him for sure." After saying that, Gui Diao's ki began to erupt from his body. What an arrogant tone. Come on. Although this clone of mine only has the strength of a rank 1 heavenly sovereign, it won't be a problem for me to stall you for an hour. Li Shanfeng laughed when he saw this. He put away his walking stick and stood there naturally. There wasn't a single fluctuation of ki coming from his body. That old man, is that Li Shanfeng? Xiao Wang asked in a deep voice. Zhou Ju, who was standing beside him, nodded his head. His expression was filled with shock. If Gui Diao's Black Devil Condor was included, then this battle would be a grand battle between 6 heavenly sovereign level warriors. This was a rare scene. Hiss, hiss. The scarlet flame wheel rushed into the sea of blood. It was like boiling water entering a pot of boiling oil. In an instant, it produced a continuous rumbling sound. The sea of blood quickly melted, and the blood key that filled the sky disappeared without a trace. Seeing that his most powerful attack had been blocked, Wu Judian clenched his teeth tightly. Seeing Kai Shui getting closer and closer to the main hall, he didn't dare to delay any longer. His body suddenly rushed towards Kai Shui. Just now, he had used up more than half of his Origin Monarch Ki using the high-grade Saint Technique Scarlet Flame Wheel. He really didn't have the confidence to fight Kai Shui. But now, with Li Shanfeng holding Gui Diao back, as long as he could hold Kai Shui back. When Lao Qianwan broke free from the blood sea, the two of them would join forces. Kai Shui would only die. Everyone, activate the formation. Seeing Kai Shui getting closer and closer, Li Daoyuan and the others naturally wouldn't surrender without a fight. Immediately, they let out a stern shout, injecting 4 Monarch cultivation and nearly 10 Emperor cultivation level warriors into the formation at the same time. In an instant, the profound light above the formation shone brightly. A huge bronze bell slowly appeared in the hall. As the huge bell shook slightly, the lingering sound of the bell echoed across the sky. The cost of activating the formation was huge. Li Daoyuan and the others had only used it once, but the Origin Monarch Ki in their bodies had already been used up. They were almost unable to stand in the air. Wang! The huge bronze bell rumbled once again. After that, it pressed down on the rapidly approaching Kai Shui. One of the trump cards of Spiritual Sky City, the Heaven Suppressing Bell. Kai Shui's body stopped instantly, and his pale face changed slightly. After that, he looked at Li Daoyuan and the others, and couldn't help but feel delighted. However, how powerful can it be when 3 monarch cultivation warriors use it? As he spoke, he let out an angry shout, and the blood energy in his body started to surge. It dyed the entire sky blood red, and the blood energy that was filled with a fishy smell seemed to have solidified. The sound of wailing ghosts and howling ghosts continuously rang out from within the blood key. Immediately following that, a huge bloody hand stretched out from the sea of blood, and smashed towards the bronze bell. What is this? Everyone in the hall was shocked when they saw the bronze bell, especially the alchemists. The moment the bell appeared, the defensive power of the entire hall seemed to have weakened significantly. The blood key that Kai Shui sent into the hall made it difficult for many of them to breathe, and they couldn't help but faint. This was the source energy released by the heavenly sovereign expert. Xiao Wang and the other monarch cultivation warriors were powerless against it. They could only use the origin monarch key to protect themselves, preventing the blood key from entering their bodies. Although the origin monarch key in Xiaoyan's body was extremely barren, once the monarch flame covered his body, the blood energy could not enter his body at all. This is the formation technique of the spiritual Sky City's Pill Palace's grand formation. It requires a lot of people to pour the origin monarch key into the formation, and a huge bronze bell will appear. This huge bell is one of the trump cards of the spiritual Sky City, and its name is the Heaven-Suppressing Bell. Xiao Wang crossed his arms across his chest, and said in a deep voice as he looked at the intense battle outside the hall. Wu! Gui Diao sensed the cold air coming from behind him and quickly dodged. In the next moment, a sharp dagger suddenly appeared and cut across his black robe in an instant. The black robe fragment rose in the air and landed in Li Shanfeng's hand, who slowly appeared from the space. Gui Diao looked at Li Shanfeng with a gloomy face. This old thing was worthy of being called a real killer. He could not sense any changes in Li Shanfeng's movements. His movements were unpredictable. He was like a poisonous snake hiding in the deepest area, ready to launch a fatal attack at any time. The origin monarch key in your body has been consumed a lot. It won't do you any good if you continue fighting. You can just stay here in the open. Is the Star Field Law Enforcement team coming soon? Li Shanfeng's shadow put away the blood-red dagger and said with a smile. Gui Diao's face was gloomy. After that, he unwillingly gave up on Li Zan and wanted to join hands with Kai Shui to capture Xiao Yan and Xiao Yu. Break! The giant hand that stretched out from the sea of blood and the bronze bell collided violently. The two of them were in a deadlock, and neither of them could do anything to the other. Following Kai Shui's shout, the blood key on the giant hand suddenly strengthened, and the crystal-clear giant hand became even more solid. Crack! A loud cracking sound was heard. Li Daoyuan and the others looked at the bronze bell in the sky with shock in their eyes. There was already a visible crack on the surface of the giant bell. Kai Shui was overjoyed when he heard the sound. He shouted once more, wanting to completely destroy the bronze bell. Buzz! Suddenly, a sharp soul attack came from afar like a lightning strike, hitting the soul of Kai Shui who didn't notice it at all. The latter's expression instantly stiffened, then he let out a painful cry. His mind became unstable, and the blood-red giant hand instantly turned into blood mists that filled the sky and dissipated. The bronze giant bell whistled down and struck Kai Shui's body. The bronze giant bell, which had been greatly weakened, was like an arrow at the end of its flight at this moment. It only caused a slight injury to Kai Shui. Before he could react, Wu Judian had already rushed over explosively. A fist that seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and extinguish the earth violently smashed onto Kai Shui's shoulder. It violently smashed onto the ground, and a bottomless pit suddenly erupted on the ground. In the distance, Lao Qianwan, who had broken free from the blood sea, quickly came to Wu Judian's side. He looked at the pit below and was about to make a move when an extremely furious roar came from the pit. The roar was heard. In the next moment, Kai Shui, who was in a sorry state, rushed out from the pit. His eyes were filled with fury as he looked at Wu Judian and Lao Qianwan. When Gui Diao turned around, he saw Kai Shui rushing out from the pit. When Gui Diao saw the latter in a sorry state, his facial expression changed slightly. This bastard is furious. Hee, just in time. Gui Diao smiled coldly. Suddenly, he frowned and his sharp eyes looked towards the horizon. The smile on his face gradually disappeared. Damn it. It has come at this time. Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.